Hi everybody. I'm going to make a little video here to help you with your homework, hopefully. So we're going to be doing some pretty complicated operations with rational numbers. That is the topic of today's video. And I took some of the examples from your homework. I changed them a little bit, and I'm going to work them out for you right now. So this problem right now that I'm going to work out is very similar to 5b on page 56. All right, now here we have a lot going on. We've got exponents, we've got fractions, we've got negative fractions, we've got division and multiplication. And the key to solving this problem is first using order of operation. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is the exponents. Now, order of operation, of course, is PEMDAS. I don't want to have to review that now. If you have trouble with order of operation, check out the other video I did on order of operation. So because I can't do anything inside of these parentheses, I'm going to move to exponents next. Okay, so I'm going to multiply negative 1/3 times negative 1/3. And I hope you've noticed by now that your book puts parentheses around any negative number. So you'll see a lot of those parentheses. Okay, I'm actually going to write this all out here. You don't have to do all of this, but it's a good idea too if you're having trouble at all. Negative 3 to the third power, when it's written like this, means negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Okay, let's evaluate here. So negative 1/3 times negative 1/3 is going to be a positive. 1 times 1 is 1 over 9. So it's a positive 1/9. And negative 3 to the third power, well, negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, times negative 3 is negative 27. Okay, so we're done with exponents. Now we're on to multiplication and division. We're going to go from left to right. 1/9 divided by 1 over 24. Okay, to divide by a fraction, we're going to take this second number, which is the divisor. This is the dividend divided by the divisor. And we're going to flip this. We're going to take the reciprocal of 1 over 24, which is 24 over 1. And we're going to change this symbol to multiplication. So this becomes 1 over 9 times this reciprocal, which is 24 over 1. And this is going to be equal to, well, let's cross cancel. I can cancel out a 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So this is equal to 8/3. I'll just go ahead and write that right here. 8/3. And then we're going to multiply 8/3 times negative 27. I have to turn negative 27 into a fraction so that I can multiply and cross cancel here. Let's see, I can divide this by 3 and get 1, and I can divide this by 3 and get negative 9. My answer is going to be 8 times negative 9, which is equal to negative 72. Okay, so the key to this problem was really order of operation. You know how to multiply fractions. If you needed a little reminder on how to divide fractions, this is it right here. Take the divisor, that's the second number, so it's number divided by second number. Take this and take the reciprocal, which means flip it, and change the division sign to a multiplication problem, and then just multiply through. And you know what? I'm just going to do a quick example of that right here, right now. So for example, if I have 1/2 divided by 1/3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number here and flip it 3 over 1 and change this symbol to multiplication. That's how you do division. All right, so 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 1 is 2. My answer is 3 over 2, or 1 1/2. All right, so that was the problem very similar to 5b. Let's take a look here. This problem is very similar to 5c, the very next problem. So when you see a problem like this, what we're going to do is we're going to find out what's in the numerator first. So it's kind of like there are parentheses here. And then we're going to find out what's in the denominator. And then all we're going to do is divide the top by the bottom. Remember, whenever you see a fraction, it always means the top, whatever's in the top, divided by the bottom. Okay, so we're going to simplify the top and bottom first and then divide. Okay, so 5 divided by 1/3 is equal to 5 times 3 over 1, which is equal to 15. So that's going to be my numerator. My denominator is going to be, let's just do this down here. My denominator is going to be 1/2 plus 2/5, which is equal to, well, let's get our common denominator down here, 5/10 plus 4/10, which is equal to 9/10. Okay, my common denominator was the least common multiple of 2 and 5. Multiplied this fraction by 5 and this fraction by 2 in the numerator and denominator. Yeah, just review stuff, okay? I assume you know that. You certainly showed me that you knew it today in class, so I don't want to spend too much time on that stuff. Find an equivalent fraction with the common denominator of 10 and then add your numerators. Okay, so what this means is, I'll go ahead and write it up here, that 15 is my numerator. My denominator is the fraction 9/10. So what I need to do more equal signs, is 15 divided by 9 over 10. So we're going to use that rule for dividing fractions, and this is going to be 15 times 10 over 9. I flipped this number, the divisor, and changed the division to multiplication. Go ahead and multiply across, cancel out a 3, and I get 50 over 3, or 16 2/3. Either of these are acceptable answers. So that's very similar to 5C on page 56. Okay, let's keep moving on here. Our next problem is very similar to, which one is this similar to? I guess it's closest to 6C, but I added some mixed numbers to make it a little more difficult. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on here again. When we have a big complicated problem like this, we have to fall back on order of operations to make it simpler, to break it down into simple steps. So the first step I'm going to do is, there's no parentheses that I can do anything with, and there's no exponents, so I'm going to do this multiplication problem right here. Negative 3 over 5 times 10 over 21. Now this is going to have one negative sign, so that means my answer is going to be negative. I can go ahead and cross cancel here. Divide by 5. Divide by 3 here. And my answer is going to be 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 7 is 7. There we go. Negative 2 sevenths. This entire thing right here turned into negative 2 sevenths. All right, this one over here is going to be a little bit more complex. We're going to have to convert this to an improper fraction first. So that will be 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9, negative 9 over 4. And you know what? I kind of didn't follow my own rule there. Let's put that negative sign in the numerator. There we go. Oh, it doesn't matter here, we're not adding. Anyway, 1 and 1/3 is going to be 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4 over 3. Okay, and I'm multiplying here. And then after I multiply, I'm going to go ahead and add this product to this fraction. So let's see. Cross cancel. 1, 1, divide by 3, 1. So negative 3 times 1 is 1. Oh, wait, negative 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 3. And, you know, I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to drop it down here. So these two things multiplied together give me negative 3. I'm adding to negative 3, negative 2 over 7. And my answer is going to be negative 3 and 2 sevenths. Or if you like an improper fraction, we could say negative 23 over 7. Either of these would be acceptable. So what we did was just order of operation. We multiplied these two fractions, multiplied these two fractions. We had to convert to an improper fraction first. And then once we got those products, which were negative 2 over 7 and negative 3, we just added them together. Just kind of easy. I didn't realize that this was going to be a whole number when I set it up. Okay, let's move on. The last example here is very similar to 6D, which is kind of, it looks really confusing. There's so many parentheses and negative signs, and there's division going on. This is crazy, but really it's about 3 simple steps. First thing we're going to do is inside these brackets. Now, these parentheses here, they're just there because we have negative numbers, so don't let them confuse you. All we're doing here is negative 1/6 minus negative 1/8. Okay? So my common denominator is going to be the least common multiple of 6 and 8, which is 24. I had to multiply this by 4, so I multiply the top by 4. So this is going to be negative 4 over 24 minus, this is going to be 24 in the denominator, multiply by 3 to get that, multiply the numerator by 3, negative 3 over 24. Okay, so we have negative 4 over 24. We're subtracting negative 3 over 24. So we're just going to join them with a common denominator. This is going to be negative 4 minus negative 3 over 24. Just do this problem. Negative 4 minus negative 3 is just going to be equal to negative 1 over 24. Okay, so this whole thing here just simplified down to negative 1 over 24. Let's go ahead and move over here. We're going to do the same thing to this side of the problem, or this, what's in brackets here. So we have 1/4 plus 1/6. My common denominator is going to be 12. Multiply by a 3 to get that with the 1/4. I'm adding, let's see, I need a 12 in the denominator. Multiply by 2 to get this, so we're going to have negative 2 on top. Okay. Negative 2 over 12 is equal to negative 1 over 6. Add my numerators. 3 plus negative 2 is equal to 1 over 12. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to divide here. So let's go ahead and just take all of this. Let's take all of this and shrink it down just a little bit. That didn't work. One more time. I don't want to have to start this video from scratch. Okay, so where we left off right now is we are dividing negative 1 over 24 by 1 over 12. And to do that, all I'm going to do is change this to multiplication and change this to its reciprocal, which is 1 over 12. Okay, cross cancel. Divide both of these by 12. We have 2 here, 1 here. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So my final answer is going to be negative 1/2 here. Okay, these are very similar to the problems in your homework tonight. So take a look at these. Hopefully they give you some guidance and give you some ideas if you get stuck. All right, good luck.